Well, why did Buddha say those words to the woman? Did he really give life to the dead man? The answer to your question is in this story, which actually was Lord Buddha's first sermon. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, consider subscribing my channel as I post some interesting motivational stuff, and your subscription would give me a lot of motivation. So friends, let's get started. This story is of Kissa Gautami and Gautama Buddha. Kissa Gautami lived in a village near Banaras. She lived in a small hut with her only son. Tragedy struck Kissa Gautami when her only son passed away. Struck with unending pain and sorrow, she requested everyone around her for a wonder drug that could bring her son back to life. Quite obviously, everyone thought that the lady had lost her ability to think clearly. She moved from person to person asking for help. Finally, she came across a man who, after seeing her sorry state, told her, "I cannot offer you a medicine, but I know a person who can do it." Hearing these words, she pleaded the stranger to tell the name of the person, for which he replied, "His name is Gautama Buddha." Filled with hope, the lady visited Gautama Buddha and begged him and said, "O Lord, please give me medicine to cure my dead son." Hearing her words, Gautama Buddha understood that it is impossible to convince her that her son cannot be brought back to life, since she feels death is a disease that has a medicine, but he had to make her understand, otherwise it would become an unending pain for her. So he said, "Okay, I would bring your son back to life, but first you have to get me a handful of mustard seeds." Restored with hope, Kissa Gautami thought it to be a very simple task, and when she was getting up to get the mustard seeds, he said, "Wait, I have a condition. The mustard seeds should not be bought from a shop. You need to beg it from people, and it should be from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent, or friend." Poor Kissa Gautami now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, "Here are the mustard seeds, take it." But when she asked, "Did a son or a daughter, a father or mother die in your family?" they answered her, "Alas, the living are few, but the dead are many. Do not remind us of our deepest grief." And there was no house, but some beloved one had died in it. All hope was lost for Kissa Gautami, and thus in extreme anguish and pain, she found herself a place to ponder at the edge of the road. She continuously watched city lights blinking and observed them till there was just darkness all around. After deep reflection, she realized the man's fate was just like these city lights that flicker and extinguish repeatedly. The cycle of birth and death is nature's way of working. Suddenly, she became conscious as to how selfish she had been in her sorrow, and that one who was born must rest eternally. Men are mortal, and the ones that are immortals have covered a path free from all worldly pleasures. Kissa Gautami returned back to Buddha and thanked him for making her understand the true meaning of life and death. According to Lord Buddha, the life of mortals is troubled because they have not made peace with the fact that one who is born must rest eternally. There is no way a living being can avoid facing death. Just like a ripe fruit is more prone to falling, an aged mortal is bound to die. Just like all earthen vessels break at some point, so do men. Whether old or young, foolish or wise, death leaves none. The only way death works is by withdrawing the person from the living world. That is, the person ceases to exist. No one has control over death. Neither a father can save his son, nor a kinsman his relative. Just like an ox is taken to the slaughterhouse to be killed, so does death do with mortals, leaving none behind. Thus, the one who knows this truth and doesn't grieve at his loss is the one who has been called wise by Lord Buddha. He further says, one should not grieve, weep, or be miserable at something which is bound to happen, for it will keep man away from obtaining peace of mind. It will only multiply the pain and suffering, this leading to physical weakness, and moreover, no amount of grief would bring back the dead. It's very important to understand that one must move past feelings like sorrow and grief, as it is only way that leads to the path of salvation. How was the story, my friends? I know the story was more spiritual than motivational. I believe that spirituality is an integral part of motivation. I would like to explain it with an example. Let us consider that you are standing on the beginning of a road. When you look ahead, you are not able to clearly watch the end of the road. Now let us assume that the road to be your life, the end of the road to be your motivational goals, and the obstacles are your lesser understanding of life. To clear the obstacles, you need to understand life, and when you do so, your goals would be clear and you will get a better result. We are lucky that the holy wise men of our past have given us valuable spiritual lessons that will surely add greater meaning to our lives and motivate us in a right manner to achieve our goals. Hope you loved the story, my friends. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, do not forget to leave your valuable comments below.